So as you can see, Mike Trout was clearly confused as to what was happening in front of him. Corey Seager got walked with the bases loaded, even though the Angels were losing. So we're going to talk about that in just a moment. What's going on, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. We have a lot to talk about today aside from the Joe Maddon big brain moment. I guess it worked in the Angels' favor. So we'll go ahead and break that game down in just a moment. Fransisco Lindor is playing like a $35 million player. He's actually doing very well. And then Mackenzie Gore, he made his debut for the Padres. Finally. Also, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is back at it. I mean, this kid is just ridiculous. Now, real quick, if this is your first time on the channel, we talk baseball every single day, so don't be afraid to stick around and hit that subscribe button. And also, save yourself 20 bucks off on SeatGeek if you're going to any baseball games anytime soon. Before we talk about the walk-offs, because I like to start off these videos usually with the walk-off, it was Jackie Robinson Day yesterday, so we have to talk about the Dodgers. Yesterday, LA was facing off against the Reds, and CT3 got the scoring started on a bloop single, but a strong throw from left prevents a second run from scoring. Trey Turner extends his hitting streak to 26 games. Now, Fuzzy, how is that possible? There's only been 6 or 7 games played. Okay, so it takes into account 2021 as well, but he did it again. Look at this smooth slide over at third base. He makes it look effortless. Tony Gonsolin threw 4 shutout innings, and he has a combined 2.77 ERA in his first 150 career innings. You got to put some respect on Tony Gonsolin's name. Justin Turner walks in a run in the 5th, and Tyler Anderson was dominant in relief. Well, except for this one pitch that got Joey Votto in the helmet, and Joey Votto was not happy. He ended up staying in and was okay, but the Dodgers stay ahead and come away with a W after Craig Kimbrell grabs his second save of the year. All right, let's talk about that walk-off. It was between the Baltimore Orioles and the Yankees, and if you are a Yankees fan, you might want to close your eyes and stuff your ears. Even though Jordan Montgomery was solid, 5 shutout innings, Jordan Lyles was just as good. He kept the Yankees in check. Now, he did end up allowing a single earned run to Giancarlo Stanton, and former Yankee top prospect Jorge Mateo ties it up at 1 run apiece. Now, he uses his blazing speed to get a No, he doesn't get a double because my friend Joey Gallo, who has been smoking baseballs, hasn't been the best offensively. Now, luckily, his defense is still going to be a factor every time he's in the game. This one needs 11 innings, and after some horrid approaches from both sides, Aroldis Chapman comes in again and cannot find the zone, walking in the walk-off run as the Orioles win 2-1. Let's talk about the long-awaited debut of Mackenzie Gore. We have the Braves versus the Padres. So Hunter Green and Mackenzie Gore both made their debuts against the World Series champions. But again, finally, I've been waiting so long for the super prospect Gore to get called up, and he started off well, striking out a few Braves with his nasty stuff. Ozzie Albies does not care, though. He has destroyed lefties ever since he was a rookie, and he showed off the pop in the 3rd. He's a sneaky candidate to join the 35-40 home run club. I know that sounds like blasphemy, but Ozzie Albies is still 25 years old and growing into his man body. So 40 home runs, in my opinion, is actually going to be possible for a guy that lifts the ball almost every chance that he can get. Ozuna adds another run off of Gore, who wasn't bad at all. In his debut, he goes 5 1/3, allows 2 earned runs, but he did allow 2 walks and only struck out 3, so there is huge room for improvement. Kyle Wright was right again. He impresses with 9 strikeouts and 5 innings. Like Mackenzie Gore, he allows 2 earned runs, and then Adam Duvall plays spoiler on a 2-run double in the 8th inning. The former starting pitcher Dinelson Lamet gifts another run to the Braves as they come away with a 5-2 victory over San Diego. Another lefty that was on the bump. We had Tarek Skubal of the Tigers facing off against Brad Keller of the Royals, and there was a no-hitter for both sides through 3 innings. Skubal and Keller were both locked in. Silos gets the Skubal in the 4th inning, though, and that was it for the scoring until the 7th inning. We'll talk about that in a moment. Skubal was slicing through that Royals lineup. 5 2/3 innings, ended up with 7 strikeouts on the day. Keller grabbed 5 strikeouts, but he takes the L after a mammoth shot from the rookie Spencer Torkelson. Everyone was bailing on Torkelson because of a slow start. He knew this ball was gone as soon as he hit it, scoring Miguel Cabrera, who I just want to note is 5 hits away from 3,000. So if you're a Tigers fan, you might want to start buying your tickets for that game, trying to predict when it's going to happen. Michael Fulmer gets some help from the defense, and the Tigers, they get a W courtesy of their young players. Now, the next 2 games, I'm going to talk about them back-to-back because each of them had a really cool first pitch. The Giants and the Guardians. Tom Hanks comes out after J. Ram officially signs his 7-year contract. He got a huge ovation, and then Tom Hanks, along with Wilson, threw out the first pitch. I thought that it was going to be a great day. but it wasn't. Brandon Crawford's home run could have been mistaken as a hot air balloon from people outside the stadium. Good Lord, that ball was absolutely demolished. Jock Peterson then hits one in the 6th. Zach Plesac was really good. It's just, if you noticed, 0 runs were on the board for Cleveland. That's because our father was pitching against us. Carlos Rodon, who threw a no-hitter against us. I say us, I'm a Cleveland fan. He had 9 strikeouts in 7 innings, only allowing 1 earned run. His 98 to 99 fastball, along with that slider, is one of the most lethal combinations from any starting pitcher in baseball. It should be illegal. Now, Rookie of the Year favorite, he is my favorite. I picked him to win it. Joey Bart turns on a pitch for a 110-mile-per-hour 2-run home run, and then Duvall does allow a hit, but ultimately that means nothing. As San Francisco brings Cleveland back down to earth, we scored, 47 runs in the first few games, and only 1 in that one. Mariners and the Astros, Ichiro came back to throw out the first pitch, and Jesse Winker was finally able to find a hole. He scores Adam Frazier early, and staying with Adam Frazier, he rips his first triple of the year. That pushes the score to 3-0. Adam gets on again in the 6th along with Tom Murphy, who are immediately driven in by the Frenchman, Ty France. He came over in the trade from San Diego, and they also got Munoz, who's throwing 103, so that trade is really paying off. This barrage of runs was for Marco Gonzalez, who bounces back for 7 strong innings of 1 earned run ball. He struck out 6 as well, so if the Mariners can get 20-20 Marco Gonzalez, they're going to be extra lethal. Adam Frazier brings home 2 more on another extra base hits, and the new guys essentially carry the entire team. Eugenio Suarez pours salt in the wound with a 2-run shot, and the new guys between Winker, Frazier, and Suarez, they account for 8 RBIs on the day. Let's move on over to the Mets and the Diamondbacks. Robinson Cano hit the first home run on Jackie Robinson Day, and then Francisco Lindor, like we talked about in the intro, has started off the year on fire. He extends the lead to 5-0 on his 2nd home run of the year. Dalton Varsho gets Arizona on the board with a solo shot, but that's all that they can muster off of Chris Bassett. Chris tosses 6 innings with 6 strikeouts, has only allowed 1 earned run in his first 12 innings, and remember, he is the 4 starter behind Tyler McGill, Max Scherzer, and Jacob deGrom when deGrom is healthy. Eduardo Escobar knocks in Lindor in the 7th, and Marte breaks the game open on a 3-run moonshot, his first as a member of the Mets. And then Francisco wasn't done yet. Not too often you see a home run from both sides of the plate. Lindor has 5 extra base hits and 7 RBIs with a nearly .460 on base percentage to start the year. Little dark horse MVP action for you. The Marlins and the Phillies, Jesus Sanchez rakes. That is all I'm going to say for the rest of the year if I talk about Jesus Sanchez. Other Jesus, this one is Aguilar. He delivers as well, a quick 2-0 lead off of Zach Eflin. And I'm not sure why Jazz Chisholm is hitting 9th, but I guess it pays off here. He uses the blazing speed to reach 3rd on a 2-run triple. He now has 7 RBIs and a 215 OPS plus. That'll work. Joey Wendell is showing off to Miami fans that his glove can be gold, and enter the guy who rakes. Jesus Sanchez triples for another RBI extra base hit, and Pablo Lopez shuts down the Phillies offense. And let me remind you though, Phillies fans and Mets fans, because you're trolling Philadelphia heavily on Twitter and social media, it is April. We have 5 months of baseball left. Final team from the NL East I want to talk about, the Nationals. They really beat up the Pirates yesterday. Washington simply puts the ball in play for like 3 or 4 straight singles in the first, and they take an early 2-0 lead. Nelson Cruz singles home another RBI later on, and then adds his 3rd RBI in the 4th on an RBI ground out. The Mitch Keller experiment is failing miserably in Pittsburgh. I'm praying that Mitch Keller can figure it out, because his stuff is nasty. It's just he does not have any command of his off-speed pitches. Thomas wanted to show some love for his pitcher. He gives Eric Fedde another run of support as Fedde tosses 5 innings with 6 strikeouts. Former Pittsburgh Pirate Josh Bell has been unstoppable to begin 2022. So after that 2-run single, his last 153 game stat line is 55 extra base hits, 97 RBIs, and an almost 130 OPS plus. That is elite. They should extend Josh Bell yesterday. All right, here we go. We're going to talk about the Angels and the Rangers and Joe Maddon's big brain. So the camera wasn't even set yet when Ohtani jumps on the very first pitch of the game for his first home run of 2022. Joe Adell then sends one to the Tesla Gigafactory in Texas. I need a breakout season from Joe. Momentum quickly shifts, and the Texas Rangers find themselves up by 1 run with the bases loaded, and Corey Corey Seager coming up. Notice how I said Corey Seager and not prime Josh Hamilton or prime steroid Barry Bonds. He gets walked intentionally with the bases loaded. And the last person to have this happen was Josh Hamilton, and Joe Maddon was the manager who walked Hamilton. That one worked out. And again, I guess it kind of worked out, even though Mike Trout's reaction was one of my favorites of all time for any moment in baseball. He's looking at his team like, what is going on? So Mitch Garver sac fly and a balk just really smacked Angels fans in the face because Joe Maddon's idea did not work. But I guess it did, because in his post-game press conference, he did it not for math purposes, but to rally the troops. And again, Kurt Suzuki goes yard, Ohtani pimps a 2-run bomb and then flips his bat. Jared Walsh ties it in the 6th and then puts icing on the cake with a 2-run Oppo Taco in the 7th. So if that was his main motive, rallying the troops, I guess it worked out. And so far, every time he's done this in his career, talking about Joe Maddon intentionally walking someone with the bases loaded, they win the game. There was an unfortunate incident in yesterday's Boston Red Sox and Twins game. Buxton slams his fist on the ground in frustration. He hurt his knee going into second, but luckily he's going to be okay, according to Ken Rosenthal. Gordon scores in replacement of Buxton. Luis Ariz picks up his teammate, and Miguel Sano was like 0 for 20 and changes that with one swing. He clears the monster, and Ariz brings home Gordon a second time. Harry Sanchez gets his bat through the zone and singles to shallow center, scoring Correa and Polanco, and Joe Ryan looked incredible. He diced up 7 Boston hitters, did not have any walks, went 6 innings, and only allowed 1 earned run. Boston says thank you very much for taking him out, taking back 3 runs in the 8th, but it wasn't enough as Minnesota scored 2 more in the next half inning, and Emilio Pagan strikes out 2 for the save. All right, let's talk about a few future Hall of Famers at work. Well, actually, we'll do that in a moment, because Bader and Kisner both single home 2 runs, giving Michaelis the early 4-zip lead. This Kisner kid has a chance of being special if he can keep that swing path in check. Future Hall of Famers Goldie and Arenado do some damage in the 2nd. And speaking of the 2nd, the Cardinals now own the 2nd best team OPS in all of Major League Baseball. So this team is going to play great defense and score some runs. Edman is fully capable of being a dual threat. He smokes his 3rd home run of the year, and Miles ends his day with a quality start, delivering 6 2/3 strong innings with 7 punchies. And that'll pretty much wrap it up for oh, never mind. Arenado got greedy. So selfish, just kidding. His 4th home run now leads the National League along with 12 RBIs and a .435 batting average. We have a roller coaster game down in Coors. The Cubs found themselves up by 3 before the 4th inning, and then the Rockies decide to make it interesting. The underrated Sam Hillier doubles home Chris Bryant, who has been an on-base god so far, and Ryan McMahon. Alan Trejo follows up with a prodigious 440-foot moonshot to give Colorado the lead, and CJ Cron finds a barrel, which is huge because Wisdom drove home VR to make Rocky fans sweat, but Daniel Bard shuts it down for his 3rd save. The Jays and the A's, Vladdy's wagon is back at it again. 3 home runs a few days ago, then a 4-strikeout game, and then he answers back with his 5th home run already of the season. And here we go again with Santiago Espinal, who I feel like we talk about every single day. The Jays pitchers do their job, but Oakland scratches back a little, only to have that run immediately canceled out by Zach Collins, bringing home Gurriel Jr. And let's stay with Lourdes because he was challenged. They intentionally walked Vladimir Guerrero Jr. because they thought he was the easier out. Not so fast. Lourdes doubles in Springer, and Romano strikes out 2 for his 5th save of the year. And I feel like the A's, just like maybe Cleveland with the Giants, are about to get put back in their place in terms of offense. And finally, the White Sox and the Rays faced off. Gavin Sheets scores on a wild pitch, and Jake Berger orders the number 3 in-and-out combo. So that is, for all my West Coast people, just a single hamburger. He hits a solo shot, but he wasn't done there. He grabs his 2nd RBI later in the 5th, and Dylan Cease tried to make it 6 innings, but was taken out after 91 pitches. He now has 16 strikeouts and 10 innings of work, only allowed 2 earned runs, but he does have 5 walks in those same 10 innings, so he's going to be one of those guys that strikes out a lot of people and walks a lot, so you're going to have to live with it if you're a White Sox fan. Hendricks finally has a clean outing, and that will be his 3rd save of the year. And that'll do it for today's MLB recap. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you guys are using code Fuzzy to save yourself some money on SeatGeek, and enjoy the rest of the web gems from yesterday's games.
Shot toward left center field. Arcia got there. In between route, but he made.
That curveball is popped into shallow center field, and Mondesi makes an over-the-shoulder sliding catch in center field.
Swing and a drive into right field. Charging in, Brett Phillips dives. Did he make the catch? Yes, he did.
Or in right field, gets the perfect jump, lays out head first.
My mom, but he had to have somebody on the team that looked out for him, and those guys did.
Oh, baby. Wow.
Is that Rick Manning out in center?
Goes, and a liner in the shift, and a diving play by Story.